Hey there, thanks for tuning in. Welcome back to the Torgo Entertainment YouTube channel. Torgo here. Welcome back to another gig log, the very first Torgo Entertainment gig log of 2022.
Daddy, where am I?
Yes, it's been about 3.5 months since I've filmed one of these things, but I've still been busy throughout. I had 4 wedding expos back in January, one every single weekend of that month. I was gonna film a gig log for those, but we ran into some inclement weather on those first 2 weekends back in Connecticut and Massachusetts, so not a lot of people went to those expos, so I decided to shelve the idea of making a video from those, because it wouldn't be very interesting to you. There wasn't that much of a crowd, and we weren't even playing music, because these kinds of events won't let you play music in these large halls, which is good because you don't want to drown out everybody. If everyone's playing at high volume in a convention center, no one sounds great. But to kick off the year, at least on tape, we are doing a winter ball for Hammondsport High School. Hammondsport High School is a school I've done a ton of things for, but not on film. 2015 to 2018, I was their DJ doing 2 or 3 school dances a year. But, and you've heard me talk about this before, when kids age out of high school, they take their preferences with them, and a lot of underclassmen, they want to make their mark and get their vendors and their DJ and have their parties. So they're not going to want to necessarily go with what has worked in the past, so I had to take a little break from Hammondsport because the student body wanted to do their own thing. Then of course the pandemic hit, so there weren't any high school events. And Hammondsport since then has tried to get me for 2 or 3 different things. I did do their prom in 2019. You can check out the gig log from that video. That was the second gig log of 2019. But for the most part, whenever Hammondsport reached out to me with a school dance, I was already booked. It just never worked out, unfortunately. There's only so many things I can do in a weekend, but it ended up working out this time. And this dance is going to be particularly interesting because the New York State mask mandate for schools just lifted this past Wednesday. It is Saturday morning as I'm filming this. So I really hope that these kids are gonna come out and have a good time because they've been cooped up. I don't know how many were even gonna go with the masks still on, because originally when they booked this event, I had to wear a mask the whole time, the kids had to wear a mask the whole time. That was what the school policy was. So I'm a little thankful that they decided to get rid of that. I mean, you can take it as you will. I'm fully vaccinated, so I'm not terribly worried. I know that obviously children aren't as much. You can't keep cooped up forever. We have a business to run, we have to make money, we have to have these kids having a good time, so that's what we're going to do. We head out to Hammondsport High School. Let's take a look at the map and show you exactly where that is. It's about 45 minutes away from Corning. It's a very simple drive. I've done it a ton of times, as I've said before. There's not much else out there. But I may become a lot more accustomed to this drive because I think I'm booking a trivia out in Hammondsport that I'll be having every week on Thursdays. I just have to receive the contract back from that. Of course, I'll end up looking really stupid if they decided not to book me, so hey, take that with a grain of salt. But you've seen this setup that I'm going to use time and time again. The only thing I'm doing that's different is I'm having song request sheets. What this school does after my first time there, and when I say my first time there, I'm talking 2015, first time I started this as my own business, I didn't have lights because they didn't want to pay for lights and they quickly learned that was a mistake. So what they ended up doing is I got inundated with requests in 2015, the very first time I did this school. So ever since then, whenever I've been there, they have the faculty at the entrance to the gymnasium take the requests there, and when their sheet is filled out, then they hand it up to me. However, it's usually really sloppy, so I decided to make my own sheets this time around. 3 columns, song artist, song title, and if you want me to know who requested it, you have a column there as well. Simple and effective. Rachel's coming with me on this one, and that's gonna be her primary goal, is getting song requests from people. I'm also gonna take a chance and bring the foam sticks back out. Now, this last batch of foam sticks that I've had a very hit or miss reputation with them. Some of them will last about an hour, hour and a half. you know, the standard fare. Some of them only last about 5 minutes and then they crap right out. I think that's true no matter what batch you get. Let me know in the comments if you got the foam sticks, if you've seen kind of mixed results with how long they last. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Of course, whenever I do a school event, I guarantee you someone's gonna inevitably take them apart and wear the diodes on their head and look like a fool. But I don't know why they like to do that. It's just something that kids do. But I hope you're ready for this one. I'm excited to do a high school event, not only because I love doing high school events, but because I get to play newer music. I follow the charts. I always try to make sure I have the top 100 songs on Billboard at any given time. That's a very time-consuming process. Every top 100 song from 1980 on up is a huge undertaking. And then the Tokboard stuff, I've talked about Tokboard in a previous video. However, as of this recording, Tokboard.com has not updated since January 29th. Which kind of stinks. I really used that quite a bit on my school events to know what is popular on TikTok, a hugely popular social media platform that I do not use. I'm not gonna fall down that rabbit hole. I hate social media as it is. I mean, I have to be on Facebook and Instagram. It's just kind of a peril of the business world, if you will. But we'll see how well those couple of songs end up working. Maybe I won't end up playing them because, and I've said this before, you can have as much preparation as you want. You have to be able to read the crowd in this job. And it's not like you can fall back on a previous playlist that I've used at this school. All the kids that were there the last time I played this gymnasium have aged out. Hopefully, unless they're really dumb or something. So this is a brand new batch of kids that have never seen me before. First impression, and hopefully I make a good one. But I hope you're ready. Strap yourselves in. Let's go to school, and let's have a good gig. Let's go! Alright, let's kick things off with the aerial photograph here. Now, the central school is grades 7 through 12, so we have the purple line here showing the driving and then the walking path that we had to take. However, we got to this event at 5:15, the dance was 8 to 11. Unfortunately, we had to wait a little bit because no one let us in until 6:15. Now, I can set up the entire thing in an hour 45, I just don't like to. I don't like to rush setting things up. That's when mistakes are made. And Rachel actually got some photos in of me setting up the actual equipment, which obviously I don't have the means to do myself because I'm usually busy setting up the equipment. But I got it all done in time, it looked great, and let's run down all the equipment that we used. And here we have the setup in all its glory. Doesn't it look great? It really does. Now around the room we have 8 of the ADJ Element Hex ST PAR cans, my wireless uplights, the main ones that I use. And they're all in configuration on the wireless DMX stream, which I'll show you where that's coming from in just a little bit. You regulars know about that though. In front we have my EV-ZLX12 subwoofer, the Dragon front board's facade in the Coro pattern, which because I don't like to use the other one if it's not a wedding. We have my iPad, which is running the ADJ Airstream bridge. It's got that preset that I made on there. Just 2 regular speaker stands, speaker scrim, and on top we have my QSC K10.2 speakers. Again, the 10s and the 12s are identical. I got the 10s. We have the ADJ Focus Spot 3Zs on top of my pre-wired truss. We have the 5PX Hex atop of that truss, and we have the regular ADJ Element Hex Power at the bottom, which acts as the conduit for the DMX cabling. My Manfrotto tripod, my Panasonic camcorder, which will live there. I don't like it out for school events. Here we have my Shure SLXD wireless microphone system. I only need the one, so SLXD is great. Don't need to go to use for this one. Water supply, cell phone. There's the physical microphone on top of a cheap little tabletop mic stand. And we do have that windscreen. We have gaff tape so people cannot see the cords from the front. We have the ADJ power bar. We have the good old Pioneer DDJ SX2 controller. My Samsung Odyssey notebook running Virtual DJ 2020. I need to update the 2021 at some point. I just haven't done that yet. My Audio-Technica they're M50X headphones. Ha! Got it. My Ryobi battery, just in case the camera needs to move. That way we have another battery supply. The Airstream DMX bridge sitting on top of the table right there. I like having it up just a little bit. There is my
There's my clipboard, and inside we have the song request forms. I printed out 4 of those. I think that should be more than enough. And down here we have the UB12 hex bars, and we have my Furman power conditioners. You know. And a relatively empty table. There is my anti-fatigue mat so my feet don't get hurt. And we have my 2 Allendale Defenders to clean up some of the cabling. The plug is right into the back wall, and here we have my Yeti power inverter, should the power go awry. We have the foam sticks here. This is the cart which contains the focus spots. I use that as a table. And here's this back room, which is where we're going to keep all our stuff. This is my rock and roller cart, which brought everything in, a whole bunch of bags. We're going to go ahead and shut this door. And this system right here, that was here when we got here. That belongs to the school when they don't have a DJ. Only time for one more thing, and you know what it is. It's time to level up. Let's go.
And we're back. The morning after. Overall, that event actually went really well. I was pleasantly surprised with how things went, especially given a little bit of a rocky start. I wasn't sure how many kids were going to show up because of the combination of the warmer weather and the fact that they announced no masks like 3 days prior to the event. But we got like 75, 80 kids overall. It was a pretty decent turnout. The school staff was kind of upset that there weren't that many kids there, but hey, I had no real problem with it because they were dancing, they were having a good old time. The request sheets actually worked great. Not everybody filled out that 3rd column. I think some people wanted to remain anonymous, especially if it was a bad request, so if they didn't put their name and own up to the request, I was a little less likely to play it. But I actually played every single song request that the kids requested that I had, and I had in a clean version. I was very surprised how much older stuff they wanted. A lot of the requests were 70s and 80s, YMCA, and then, you know, Baby Got Back, which is 91 or 92. You know, stuff that these kids weren't even alive for. I'm very curious as to how they even became aware of it. Is it TikTok? Cultural osmosis? I've never been able to figure that out. But I played a lot of new stuff as well, and overall it went great. There were 2 songs that did not work whatsoever. One of them was Sandstorm by Darude. I played that because I had played a couple of the memeier songs over the course of the night. So I threw Sandstorm in there as a nice little end marker of that set, and a lot of kids just left. I don't know if they were just tired or if they didn't know the song or if they didn't like the song, but I followed that up with the second of 2 slow songs, and then we just kind of kicked right in after that. And the other one, which was a request, was Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners. I wasn't sure how that was going to go over, but it was on the request sheet, so I played it. It bombed. so I ended up playing like a minute of it and just transitioned quickly into something else. But overall, the kids had a good time. You know you do a good job when the kids compliment you, especially when compared to the homecoming dance that they had. And remember, they wanted to get me for the homecoming dance back in September or October, but I was booked. I was booked solid throughout the fall last year. A playlist will be at the tail end of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is 60 degrees out right now at about 10 a.m. Now I get to unload the car in a mud pit of my driveway. Hooray. I am Torgo at Torgo Entertainments. We've kicked off 2022, which is going to be a huge year, and we'll see you at the next gig. Take care.